My people, do me a favor, hit that like button down there. And as typical, you'll automatically be entered to win yourself a K-Cup coffee pod. Today we're going to talk about Bastinelli knife. Sorry about that, didn't mean to shake that. There's the box came in. And this came by way of DNK Knives.com. Make sure you guys go check that out. That website out, and if you want to buy a knife from there, use this coupon code Behind the Edge 10 to get yourself 10% off of your order. Lots of knives, lots of heretic knives. If you are looking for a particular heretic knife, he has tons. Real quick, in this box, nothing comes in it but the knife, pretty much. So oh, real quick, make sure you subscribe. We're going to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and the more people who subscribe, the faster we can do it. Going to give away a crap ton of knives. There'll be a link to DNK in the description, and there will also be a link to Patreon if you are interested in supporting the channel in that way. The lowest tier there is $3, and every little bit helps the channel keep moving. Because as of right now, if it wasn't for DNK and a couple buddies sending me knives here and there, I would have nothing for content. So I want to thank everybody who helps out. Sorry about that. Helps out in that way. I want to thank DNK. I want to thank you guys for viewing. This is the Bastinelli D.Vil Mini Dragotac, and I say D.Vil, that's literally the letter D. Come on, focus. V-I-L. Anyway, it's on the top of that thumb disc there. This is an Italian OEM from Line Steel. 2.75-inch blade. M390. Titanium frame lock with G10 show side. Nothing special, nothing fancy. It'll say Line Steel M390 on the inside there. Let's go ahead and put it on the scale just to get that out of the way. This is not a very large knife. And it's not very heavy, but I'm going to guess and say around 3.5 ounces. No, not even 3. I was wrong. Pretty good weight there. All right. As typical, we're going to kind of go through the pros and cons of the knife. M390, coming out of Italy. From what I hear, I've heard two different things. One saying it's been fixed as far as their heat treat goes, and another saying that it is most definitely not. So, I don't know. So, just take that for whatever it is. It is M390. And after you sharpen it a couple times, just like any other knife, any other factory-produced knife that has ever been, the more you sharpen it, the better your edge retention will get. Some better than others, but again, take that for whatever you want. Going with the pros. First thing, this is a convex edge, believe it or not. Which is something you don't see on folding knives very often. It is very deceptively sharp. Convex edge is an excellent edge, which means instead of a standard V, it is kind of rounded. I don't know any other way to explain that. Typically, you'll see that on a good fixed blade. It is slightly harder to sharpen. It takes a little more skill, but it will make your edge bevel much, much stronger. So, that's cool. It's just something you don't see a lot in a folding knife, especially just a production knife. Next thing, came very, very sharp, and I mean very sharp. And the convex edge is very deceptive in its sharpness. You kind of, if you just run your finger across it, you don't really, it feels kind of dull, but if you press any at all, you will see that it is quite sharp. Next thing, thumb disc deployment. The thumb disc works well for this knife. It's not my favorite because it is hard to get right. And on this knife, it works pretty good. So that's cool. Next, also, I mean, the crowned spine, line steel does that a lot. I like that. I think it looks good. It feels good. So that's a bonus there. Overall, fit and finish is good. Line steel does pretty good on their knives. You know, whatever their heat treats on their blade steel is, as far as fit and finish and the build quality all together, they do a really good job. It is on bearings. I don't know why knives this small really don't need. Anyway, it's on bearings. Not my favorite, but it is what it is. Detent is excellent. Very good, actually. Very snappy deployment. It's not drop shut, and it probably never will be because, you know, there's just no mass on that blade there to help it. And it has an excellent deep carry pocket clip that is reversible, even though if you reverse it to this side, you might have, with this texturing here, it might not be as easy sliding in and out of your pocket. There's a decent amount of tension on there, but not too much. It is ultra deep. So yeah, there's the good. The grind is decent, or the flat grind tapers down to a decent thin edge. Let's go to cons, because there's a few here. First and foremost, this knife is just too small. I don't get the small knife thing. It's not ever been my jam. You know, I guess I can understand it if you wear a suit every day. I have never wore a suit in my entire life, and I'm 43 years old. I wear jeans, cargo pants, jeans, cargo pants, and jeans. That's just how I get down. So I like to carry a bigger knife. Speaking of bigger knife, there you go. There's a man's knife right there for you. And what's better than a XM24? Two XM24s. So that gives you kind of an idea of the size of knife that I would prefer to carry on a regular day. All right. Next thing, the glass breaker. Drives me crazy. I don't see a reason for a glass breaker on a knife, much less one on a knife this small. Also, it has some grind issues. As you can see here, this plunge goes back to, it really needs a choil, because it's going to be hard. You're not going to be able to get a lot of sharpenings out of this and take it all the way back to this. I don't know why I'm getting a lot of reflectivity today, guys. I apologize. I thought I had my lighting fixed. Anyway, you're going to get one or two good sharpenings out of this before you're going to be running into this plunge here, and you're going to need to put a choil in it. That's not cool. They could have did something different there. And the only other con is something I've already said is, you know, the suspect heat treat. So, you know, take it for what you want. If you're just going to use this as an everyday open packages, never really cut anything more than a piece of cardboard or a zip tie, then it'll do fine. It will. But if you know, you really hard use your knives and stuff like that, then the line steel, you might want to worry about your heat treat. Here's this other line steel, or Bastinelli, I'm sorry, up against it. I did prefer this one better. I like the thumb studs. I like the finish. The ergos are better. But they're very similar knives. And so you can see the Bastinelli design element here. And a lot of their other folders look very, very similar to this as well. And another con, I'm sorry. There's no lock bar insert. That's not exactly a con to me if it's done right. But, you know, as time goes on, you will or possibly have to worry about lock stick. So really, that's all I have to say about this knife. I can't recommend it to anyone other than people with small hands, or someone who wants something that looks, you know, like tactical and cool looking, because it does, it looks cool, but don't want a giant knife, you know. Otherwise, I would absolutely recommend this guy first. So that's all I got for you on this video, guys. I'm not going to drag this out. I am going to be doing giveaways soon, so please, please, please make sure you're subscribed if you want to be involved in that. I have lots more videos coming up as usual, so I will see you then. Later.